Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Gigi and the 561. Happy New Year, everyone. We are on the last day of 2024, and I have guests with me. Hey, guys.
Hi.
I
Hey,
I
Gigi.
have Deborah Hamilton, Lynn, and Gary Barker are here with me to talk about whatever we feel like talking about because we don't really have a topic today. We are going to have a little party tonight to ring in the new year. We're going to be sweeping 2024 out,
2024,
literally with a
yeah.
broom, aren't we,
and
guys?
letting 2024, 2025 come in.
That's right.
Even though I did read 2025, unfortunately, starts with WTF, Wednesday,
It does.
Thursday, Friday.
It does. It does. I read that too, Dad. I did.
So
really
I guess
did.
we'll find out WTF.
We
come around.
definitely will. Not surprising, but we've been decorating. We had a really good lunch today. It was really nice. It's beautiful in North Palm Beach.
I think we
today.
should talk about, instead of, we all know what we think the bad things were that happened in 2024 without going into all of
Yeah.
them. But talking about opening the door and sweeping them out, we're letting those go. I think we should talk about the good things that happened in 2024 and all the wonderful things we saw. So many people don't get to travel like we all travel.
Right.
And there's so many things that I would love to share with people and do share through my writing, and Gary too, and you on the podcast and everything, about we're just fortunate that we get to see the world.
We are.
And no use recapping 2024 as far as what happened or the fact that we can't believe it, but
Yeah.
it's here, it's happened.
I just think the year went by incredibly fast. We were traveling, going to conventions and stuff, and it flew. I can't believe it's New Year's. I really can't. So.
Well, starting in February with my bucket list trip, our trip together to French Polynesia was a dream.
It was.
I think it's
It
one
really
of the
was.
most beautiful places I've ever been in my life.
But
Yeah.
about 2025, I don't project into the future. That's just not what I do. Everybody has, I don't even do fortune cookies. But I like what you did, Deb, with your not resolutions, but intentions.
Yeah, I don't do resolutions. I set intentions, and I sit down, do meditation before I do that a little bit, and then I just free write different things.
Okay.
And this year, usually it's 10, sometimes it's less. This year it was 11, which was crazy. I just, and the last one was fearless. Be fearless and fear less.
Yeah.
So that's
I like
that's
that.
how I want to go into 2025.
I like that. I really do.
Now, do you review your intentions at the end of the year to see how they panned out?
I write them on a poster board, and I keep it where I can see it all the time, and usually about once. I would like to say I do it once a week, but usually it ends up being a couple times a month. I look at it, and sometimes my real intention would be to read it every day and see if I can start the day doing those things. Because I believe the first one, Pam, I wrote was to find a moment of joy every day.
Yeah.
To find a little bit of happiness in
Yeah.
every day.
Gratitude. Yeah.
Gratitude is another one, and I do that. But the other thing that I did, which you both know me, is I wrote 2025, the year when everything becomes clear. Then I drew a circle around that, and I started doing all the connections to the ways things are interrelated and things that will, that I think will happen in 2020. Not projecting, just saying these are the 4 pillars of the things that I need to work on, or that I think I need to work on, and then how do these things come about. So when I say that, I mean like residences was one, financial stability was one, travel is another one, working remotely, those kind of things. And the one that I can never remember is the one up in the corner. Legacy. What do you want to do to build a legacy? And then it goes from there. It's kind of like unpeeling an apple, I guess, or an onion is more what I'm thinking
Right,
of.
yeah.
There's a center, and then there's all these things. But what looked to me to be very clear looked to someone who looked at it, I won't say who, as very convoluted because I said, "Oh, it's all perfectly clear. Don't you see it?" And she's like, "No."
I thought it was. I thought it was very clear.
There's arrows going all over the
Yeah, but
all over
they
the place.
connect and they make sense. They do. I have a very simple philosophy that I subscribe to every single day of my life. It's really simple. It's 2 words: be present. It's be present, and that's really what I try to do. You plan in your head. You know what you would like to accomplish in your head, but at the same time, I don't want to be so busy ever that I miss today, that I miss my life, that I miss this moment, what's going on right now in this moment. And that's been me for really my whole life, actually, just once I grew up. And I think something very freeing. For a long time, what I did do, though, was to try to carry on tradition, to the burden of tradition in my family, because my family had a ton of them during holidays, this and that, throughout my life. And I think once you realize it isn't necessary to carry that burden, it really isn't, because it's very freeing to let that go and make new traditions, and or not even traditions, do what you feel like at the moment, whether it's during these holidays right now, or birthdays, whatever it may be. What do I feel like this year? What do I feel like this month, this day? My parents did things this way, Gary's parents did things that way, and that's all well and fine. And once I realized it's not necessary, they did what they did.
And this feels like, to me, a pivotal year. Maybe it's me personally, but it also feels to me like a pivotal year for the world.
Well,
it may be that we're laying things out, and the whole world has to make decisions about their values, their priorities, their moral compass, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody asked me, what are you most looking forward to in 2025? And I said, the end of it, getting through it. I'm most looking forward to, I don't know how 2025 is going to unfold, and neither does anyone else.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to maybe, I don't want to say coping with it, but seeing what's coming, and knowing that you can survive and you'll be fine.
I think being a part of it,
Yeah.
You just want to play, have a role. You want to be in the game, so to speak.
I'm not sure I want to be in the game this year.
Well, you'll be in your game.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Well, I think that's it. It's like understanding, letting things that you can't control go.
Well, exactly what the guy was saying at the restaurant today. It's like realizing these are things that are out of my control.
Yeah.
And accepting. He said, you accept that.
Yeah.
That I can't do anything about this.
I had a great thought at the restaurant today when we were walking out, and the guy had been so nice to us, the host, and the waitress had been wonderful. The girl who made the reservations had been wonderful. And I looked around and I thought, all these people in the restaurant that are working at the restaurant and were so kind to us and made our lunch so special.
Mm-hmm.
None of these people make a lot of money.
Right.
But they were happy, they were friendly, they didn't, and I thought, that's it. None of this celebrity worship, none, how she was dressed, what purse she wore, what freaking lip gloss she wears, all that kind of stuff. It was so different, and I thought, this is the way life should be. These people all had jobs that they enjoyed. They enjoyed being around people. If they didn't enjoy being around people, they were the best actors and actresses I've been around in a long time.
Well, it's like when you travel, and we talked about this, is that you go to these countries that they really are just absolutely impoverished and so poor. And I know we were in Guatemala and looking at the roadside vendors, and the kids run up to the buses and the cars, but generally these are some of the happiest people you ever encounter, and they don't own anything to
Right.
speak of, but they're very happy with their life.
I think what happens in our culture is, and it's something that I actually taught in a management class. Does it stick? Probably not. But in order to achieve goals, you have to let certain things go. It said, because if you don't like your history, your work history, for example, if you don't, and there was an illustration to go with that, it's like you're carrying a giant trash can in front of you, and you're pushing it all around. It's invisible, but it's there. It's your garbage of your history, and it is history. It's over. It's done. But as long as you cling to it and push it around, you will never get to the next spot you want to get to in your career. And I think that's true in life.
And I think that's what I'm saying about tonight. I feel differently about this New Year's Eve than I felt about a lot of New Year's Eves in the past. I refuse to carry that with me from 2024.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. It's over. It happened. Whatever. It's history. Now, 2025, we open that door and let in 2025. Whatever comes in may not be, I'm not saying it's going to be great and wonderful and rosy, or in fact, I think it may not be. But the truth is, it's going to be different.
Well, I think a perfect example of not knowing when you're celebrating a new year and having a grand old time. When we ushered in 2020, when we ushered out 2019, we were on a boat. We were on a beautiful, beautiful ship off the coast of Barbados, and we were dressed, everybody was dressed to the nines. It was Crystal cruise line, and we're watching the fireworks go off. The boat anchored offshore, and we're watching, and you can hear the celebration, and they're partying, Barbados.
Right.
And on the boat, same thing, and it was just fabulous. And we met some great people. That other couple, Beth and Charlie rather, and it was so much fun. And then 3 months later, we were shut down for a year and a half.
I think everybody. I was in Santa Fe that night, and we turned on that old song, I Can See Clearly Now.
Uh-huh.
And we all said, we're singing I Can See Clearly Now. It's going to be the best year ever. I had more clients than I ever had. I had the best year lined up that I can even imagine. I wasn't even worried about a thing.
Yeah.
Not worried about finances, not worried about what I was going to be doing. For the whole year, the entire year was planned out.
Yep.
And oh my God.
Yeah, ours too. We had that Virgin. We had a lot of stuff all lined up.
Oh, we were on a set for a cruise to Cuba.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to Cuba.
I mean, it's crazy. It was like, and of my clients that I was working with at the time, I had 5 clients I was working with at the time. Of my 5 clients, 3 out of the 5 went bankrupt and never came back again.
See, so point being, here we are, North Palm Beach. It's a beautiful, beautiful night, early evening, and we have friends coming up, and you know what? We're going to toast, and we're just going to have some food and great company, because as we've talked about several times today, even our hostess at Seasons 52 said it with me. It's about the people. It's about the people in your life. She's like, what's the best thing you got for Christmas? And I said, being with the people I care about.
Right. And the moments.
And
that's all. That's all it's about. That's why we don't have to see clearly. You know what they say? When you make plans, God laughs.
Well, everything else happens when you make plans, so don't make them.
All right. Well,
okay.
WTF?
Yeah, that's right.
Onward.
Onward.
All right.
Into 2025.
Anything else you want to add, Gary?
I'm just one of these people that stay positive all the time.
Like Pam said to me today, there you are, because we were talking about something that happened, and I said, yeah, but look, there's this is, and she said, gosh, there you are, being optimistic about everything.
Making it all good. What's the matter here?
Yeah.
Well, I do want to thank you both for being here to talk about absolutely nothing. It's the podcast about nothing. But I do appreciate people that listen to the podcast. Podcasting, like writing, can be very lonely because you're in a void. You don't know who's on the other side of the microphone. We look at maps and we see the red dots, and we know that people are out there and people are listening. Rewarding for us is also when people hear the podcast or when they read things on our website, which will celebrate a 10th anniversary in 2025. They contact us, and through us, they find people that they've not been able to find. And that's very rewarding for us, I think, Gary.
Absolutely.
To be able to have that role. And when I first started podcasting many years ago, people didn't know what it was. I had to say, it's like the radio. It's not that complicated. It's audio. You're listening just like you do a radio program. And now everyone has a podcast. So it will all filter out as time goes on, as to what will stick, what will last, what will people listen to. I never intended to make money or be rich. We don't even accept advertising. So the people that have listened and supported me, I thank you. There are people who listen, and we know they're listening, and we never hear from them, and that's fine too, because that's what it's all about. That's what the podcast is about. I talk, you listen. If you want to come on and be a guest, that's fine too. But I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for my producer and the person that puts these out there on, I don't even know how many platforms now, at least 20, and takes care of that, Gary, and that's you.
And it's a pleasure to do it.
And
that's part of the joy of storytelling, and that's what we really all do. It's fine to do these things. We all travel, and I've been writing travel articles, I hate to say, since 1976, and people look at it and they think, oh, it's a wonderful thing. It's just so great. It's a dream of a lot of people to write travel articles, and of course it's a job. But it's also a calling, in that the reason you write these travel articles, and one of the reasons I travel, is to share it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with your podcast. Yeah. It's part of the joy of it is being able to share.
It is. Whether you like my opinions or not, they're mine. And don't listen if you don't like them. And I get that. I understand that. And I respect it. But it is what I do, and that's what I've done. And as we wrap this year up, and all the podcasting that I've done, and the topics that I have touched on, and of everybody in the whole wide world, the support that I get from you, Gary, makes it all possible. And you're very modest and always in the background with all my shenanigans. But at this time, as we wrap up this year, it's important to heap a little praise on you. Now, when this podcast is over, look out, because that's when I hit you with a whole lot of reality shenanigans.
I am very proud of your podcasting, and very proud of the fact that you started way back when it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And stuck with it, and just continued to do more and more of it, and expand and grow, and now we do have just really a worldwide audience.
We do.
So congratulations.
Thank you. So anyway, on that Love Fest note, Deb, who is Deb's kind of my chosen sister. She's my little sis.
Sister of the heart.
She's my little sis that came into my life, and I didn't even know that I needed her until there she was. So that's part of that gratitude thing. And I may be being sappy, and I don't really care, because I'm genuine in what I'm saying. So, thanks everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And don't forget, this podcast always rests on NorthPalmBeachLife.com. You can always find it there, along with a lot of other things that Gary writes. Use the search bar. Use that. Search. Put in a topic. See if there's something there. It probably will be. These also appear on YouTube. I don't know if you'll get this one out there, but we have a YouTube channel by the same name, NorthPalmBeachLife.com. So check it out. We know that you do, and we thank you for that. Gary also writes for other publications. He is everywhere. We both are, whether you like it or not. He is writing for Aqua Magazine, Splash Magazine Worldwide, and All Things Cruise. It's Gerry, Gerry. It's pronounced Gerry. So thank you for all that you do in listening to us, and be sure to stay with me.